Very good morning again from Dumfries High School. Back again for draw 8 from the 2017 International Mixed Doubles Championship. John Graham joining me again. Still good morning, John?
It is, yes, and it's a lovely sunny day here in Dumfries.
Got a game here, Russia against Hungary. You see the scores from the previous session are on the right hand side of the screen. Get them updated for you shortly, leave them on for a moment or two. And then we'll get into this session. I know everybody's quite busy on the ice just now, just trying to get things sorted out, so we'll be a wee touch behind on the scoring, but we'll get there. It's still early. We only need to get it sorted for this afternoon, so. I think we've got the standings on a fancy graphic, John. I think that's what we're looking at. We'll put them on in a minute. They're on the preview screen at the minute, so nobody else can see them. Just us till we check they're actually right. But I think that's
3, 1, 3, 2, 2. What teams are? So you're saying the Russians need to win this, David, to continue?
Yeah, I think so. And we'll show you that. It was a great shot by the Hungarians there, though. It tidied the end up a little bit. Maybe show you a replay of this, John, if we're able to. Here you go, see what you make of this shot, John. It's a blue stone being thrown. Hits the top red. Takes the second red. And on its way out, guess what?
Takes the third one.
Takes the third one.
Well
Very
done.
nice shot.
So game on, eh?
Game on indeed. One's a little bit short from the Russians as well. for a wee tap here. That's a pretty nice stone. Taps it right to the top of the forefoot. Right to the top of the button, in fact. So definitely line 2. I think we're looking for a measure for the third, though. Which is excellent news, John, because that gives us a minute to catch our breath.
Yes, we've got quite a complicated setup here. And it just takes a wee minute or two just to get everything sorted and going.
We're doing well so far, and we're now drawing all over the screen as well, just for the fun of it.
Boys and their toys.
It's been a good start to this game, hasn't it?
Don't get this on Sky Sports or Eurosports.
No, you don't.
So,
but if somebody wants to pay us £30 a month or £40 a month, we can. I'm sure we can get better. Is it sort of 2 million people have Sky? Is it something like that?
Something like that.
30 quid a month from 2 million people. I'd be willing to put another couple of hours in anyway. That would be good.
Linda could stop working.
I nearly said something there, and I'm just not going to.
So anyway, Russia sitting in the centre here, line shot, and that's nicely positioned shot there.
We'll confirm in a moment if it was a 2 or not.
So Hungary looking to draw around the front guard there and taking about 4 foot of ice. Possibly just looking to parallel that red stone there, the Russian stone at the front.
The score is correct, John. That was a 2 up on the board.
Good. just a wee tap back there. What fill did you say this was again?
What
What event is this? Draw is this?
draw number 8.
Other games that's being played at this moment are Sweden versus Wales. That's the Swedish Nordberg team, against Watson and Mikkel. We've also got Estonia versus Sweden, England versus Finland, and Czechoslovakia versus Estonia. And as the game goes on, we will provide you with information on how those games are proceeding. Excellent shot there, really good shot. Unfortunately, just not clearing that red shot as well, the one on the right.
It was good effort too, though, wasn't it?
Was I? It's those kind of shots that take a lot of practice, and they don't come easy. Just working them all out and getting them.
Just rolls a little bit too far and gives the opportunity for a double back the way, which the way the Hungarians have been playing you would expect them to make.
I don't think that either team here will be looking to lose anything big ends in the beginning. Hungary will be looking to get their 2 back. I take it that blue at the back there is maybe biting.
Yeah, I think it is.
They've got the hammer. The only thing is that they'll have both stones on the same side of the house for the Russians to maybe look for a clearance. Just a bit thin. Kind of give the advantage away to Russia this time. Just that one mistake for what should have been a relatively easy double.
The more observant will have noticed I had to score the wrong way around there. Just try to work out how they had last stone, and yeah, they do. It gets there eventually. It takes 10 minutes, but it gets there eventually.
Can I say to you, because I hadn't been watching the previous end, you could have put anything up there and I wouldn't have known.
Could have put a 7 up, it would have confused you though.
I'm sure that somebody got a 6, was it last night?
Really?
I'm
So
sure that there was a
6
6.
That needs opposition help to get a 6. Several times over, to be fair, but because they need to raise the guard to do that, obviously.
I'm sure that somebody
Good
said
start
to
in the
me
house,
that.
actually.
No, it was
possible.
5.
It's possible. It is possible.
No, somebody said to me, "Oh, they've got a 6."
John, we've
Never
got another
even thought
commentator
about it.
behind us. Yeah.
Hi, Steve.
One of the key volunteers.
What do you think of the competition so far, Steve?
Excellent.
And what have you been busy at?
Many words there. Very good.
And what have you been busy at?
I'm not been prompted, John, so best if I keep quiet, I think.
Steve does a lot of our work for putting scores on computers and doing all the wee jobs that keeps competitions like this running.
This looks a bit through the gap, John.
Just coming in a wee bit heavy. Probably just wait.
I think that's a draw for a 4. They've got.
So, the corrected score.
Which is well, they didn't score 2 in the first, really, isn't it?
The corrected score should be 4-2 for
If he makes
Russia.
a draw.
If he makes a draw.
I'll not put that in yet. That might be a bit early. So second draw of the day today. Another 2 draws scheduled after this, plus the quarterfinals tonight. 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then again at 4:30. So if you are in the Dumfries area, get yourself along to the Ice Bowl. You don't have to listen to us, and you can watch the curling. There's a bar as well.
Which I learnt last night you do not have in Sweden. I learnt last night that you cannot have alcohol when you're playing or attending a curling game in Sweden.
Is that a sporting event in general, or specific to curling?
There are certain sporting events where you drink in the sporting event cannot mix. Well, there are other events which are not classed as sporting events, such as darts, pool, and what's the third one? Bowls, I think it is, are not classed as sporting events. So you may have alcohol at them.
I see what they've done there. I see what they've done there.
So
So they've finally settled the argument whether darts is a sport or not. Is that
yes, it's not a sport according to Sweden.
so? If you want to be a sport, you do away with your bar, and if you're happy just to be a game or a pastime,
That's right. See, I'm a mind
Clever.
of useful information. And for anybody in Sweden that knows different, please get in touch with us. But I got
think
that from a prominent Swedish curler who I dropped off last night.
See, I think this is something that DIBCA, who run this webcasting, we need to know. So I think we need to go to Sweden just to check this.
Do you think so? Okay.
We don't want to be giving out duff information. So.
Right, shall we speak to the treasurer later?
Well, I think you're vice chair, John. Can you not just?
No, I'm not
you're
vice chair. No,
actually,
can I
are
say
you?
I'm a committee member?
You're a past chair.
I'm a past chair.
So you've surely got enough sway just to make that snap decision.
Nope.
Steve can sign the checks. Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
You're the person that we need to speak to. And there's people out there watching the curling saying, will you talk about curling?
That's what the pictures are for.
So anyway, I just thought I would pass that useful snippet of information on. So if any teams are going to Sweden, especially those that perhaps like alcohol, their partners or those that they leave behind may rest assured that they won't be taking alcohol while they're participating in curling.
Unless they take a carry out. But anyway, let's get back to the game before we get ourselves in a world of trouble. So, a couple of good stones there. All down the centre plate again. How do you recover from a 4 then?
I think that what you do is, first of all, I think you forget about it, and I think you play the game as you would normally play it, and it's at the end of the day, although you've lost a 4, you're only 2 down, it's only the second end, so we're now in at the third end. Both teams apparently, signs so far are that they're well capable of playing good shots and that, so I don't think they'll be perturbed.
No, it's just one of these ends that happens. Quite an experienced pair of the Hungarians as well.
Now, I'm not sure what that means. That's that's an interesting that's a
we're just not going there. I think that was demonstrating the gap between the stones. I think that's what that was.
Right.
And I think we should stick to that. It's been a very long day already, hasn't it? It's we're only in draw 2 of the day. Oh dear. A bit of tidy up coming from the Russians now, I think. I just feel they're starting to lose control of the forefoot, so let's just get some control back. This looks pretty handy.
Not sure if that's a result they were looking for.
It's not too bad, I don't think. I mean, the 2 blues are still lying short, obviously. But you can get them out with 1 shot now.
Still a few shots to go as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they looking to come into there?
I think they are, John, yeah, just right into that pocket. Which kills the end, really. If you can get right into that pocket, it's going to be tough to get out of. I think we'll see the Russians make a play on the red on the left hand side if this goes in, but it looks a bit heavy to me.
They might be lucky to catch there.
I think they have been a wee bit lucky there actually, because that's made the Russians' job of moving them 2 blues a lot harder. But certainly not what the Hungarians were looking to play.
No, just just came in a wee bit too hot compared to perhaps what they were looking for, and then it didn't get the draw. I think Russia will still try a hit in this and clear.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just not as easy as it was pre the Hungary shot.
Not only that, there's always a chance that shot will jam there as well if they don't just get it right.
Exactly.
That's the centre blue we're talking about. Mind, see if they caught the red to the left there, and it actually angled itself like a slash across onto that centre blue.
Yep.
They could actually tape both of the blues, and they might actually even that red would actually maybe go across and still stay in the house.
Yeah, I think that's the only way of getting rid of the two blues, I think, isn't it? I can't. There's an outside chance there's a gap between them two stones just with the way our camera works, but I really don't think that's there.
Still a wee bit of discussion taking place here. Don't think they were looking at the draw at all, were they?
No, I don't think it's ever really been a consideration.
Saying that, she's moved to the right hand side for sweeping.
Yeah, they've gone with the draw, haven't they? Good spot there, John. We're going to move to that side to keep the line if it's coming close to the guard. She's switched sweeping though. Or is that not? That's the played stone has come in to help. It looks pretty nice.
It is, aye. Well done.
And stop sweeping it for line though. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Well played. I was just getting a little bit concerned it was just going to take a wee bounce off that first one, but not at all. It's played it well. I think they can move it out at a back ring weight though, off the other handle. Just come down there. As I say, back ring weight. See what happens. You only need to move it to 8 foot, of course. So
that's right, and if they actually just hit it right, then maybe just to get a wee bounce off, which then protects the other two that's in the centre there.
It starts to look quite a dangerous end. If they can make this shot well, we could see the Russians try and bail out of this end. But they're only going to have one stone to do it with, and they could be sitting 3 against with a 4th hanging about the rings. So I don't think this is swinging enough.
Heavy. I think it was just too heavy.
Yeah, I'd agree. You need to be down in weight a little bit to get the swing between the two red guards. And now for the Russians, it's a case of how aggressive do you want to be. You're 4-2 up. You've got one sitting pretty nicely, but quite vulnerable now.
I hope you are all impressed by this camera action.
I heard a lot of people saying yes there, John. I think it is. That's good. 3 cameras working.
It's probably better than the commentary at times.
People can press the mute button though.
So here Russia just playing to the centre here.
Is it done enough? I think it's just about done enough. It might still be there. Nope. I have to admit, I might still have been having a go at it because I'm not sure there's much else on.
Well, no less what they're hoping to do is just come into the face of it and knock it back, and I think that it's probably doable.
Do you think there's enough room there?
I think that if it's all weight dependent, but I think that it draws such a lot at the end there. If they can get it past the guards there and lie into the face of it, they should be able to pop it back. Aye. I think probably percentages are probably favour it more than the other side.
Yeah, it's certainly a longer distance to travel after the guard this way.
It has to be tight past the guard. I think it's too heavy, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's not going to swing it that way. It does make contact with it, but it doesn't change that.
No.
Doesn't change what's there, so it's another one to the Russians.
Only 3 in it. Only 3 in it. So it's everybody's game here.
Yep, it is indeed.
Do we have any other scores available?
Instant scores, John. Instant. Look at that. They look fairly up to date as well.
They do, aye. Sheet A after 2 ends, Aitken is 3-2 up. Sheet B, Norberg is 2 up against Watson. Sheet C, Helden versus Tourman, it's 2 up for Helden. Sheet D, Fowler and Tourtou, it's 1-1. And Hakova versus Lille, it's Lille is 1 shot down, but that's after 1 end, so it may be that there's a change to be shown there. So here we are in the 4th end.
No sign of any power plays, John. Didn't expect there to be either.
Not really. Just a wee nick there in the front guard. Just alter it. I think that probably maybe the way the draw was going, if they'd been past that front one, it would have drawn to the right hand side anyway, so perhaps just getting that wee nudge has maybe been more profitable for them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, John. I think it was over swinging, wasn't it? So that's not the worst place to end up when you've got a 3-shot lead.
That's right.
Against the hammer, so it blocks one of the 4-foot lines. On the flip side, it lets the Hungarians overswing their stone, but they've come just a fraction too deep with it. They would have liked to be top 4 with that one.
Provides an opportunity for Russia just to follow them in and tap them back, and that gives Russia quite a good backing on that side. They probably won't want to tap it too far back. And if they do manage this, they'll be actually sitting quite nice. The only other shot available then would be a double on the left hand side red.
Yeah, very similar end to the first three actually in terms of how we've ended up with the stones. So.
Needs to draw, but clearly it needs a lot of assistance in that.
Yeah, sweeping, trying to push it across as well, but a wee bit short again. And we'll just look to play a draw and come through the hole. Not really fussed if they hit one of the reds and roll into the middle. This is vexing you, isn't it?
Well, we do a bit of coaching in that, and we teach the kids the various signals and that. And that one is one that we've not come across yet. So
we're going to have to send a roving reporter at some point.
We'll have to ask them what it means. It's clearly something that they know, and
that we don't.
Aye. It could be that what you're saying is it could be just to do with that's the gap between the two stones, if you know what I mean, you know.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there. Would have been better. Almost nosing the red than hitting the guard. Having said that, it does open the middle up. They do have last stone, so apart from the reds that are blocking the
forefoots. So is
forfeit.
a strike through the port for Russia, is it?
I think it is, John. I think it is. It's not the clearest picture in the world. I think you can just about, there we go, a little bit better. We could just about make out the blues through the port there. There's a random stone there, John. What's that one doing there?
Don't know.
This looks good. Looks good. Good shot.
It is.
Shooter's going to roll away. I don't think that will bother them in the slightest.
Good result there.
And I'll say that in the slightest. It has left a double back the way, so it might have been quite nice to hang one in the back rings just as a shrink the target area a little.
Hungary with the hammer here and got one line just off to the left, just biting the front there. So a possibility of them picking their two up if they play the game well. So it's a lovely sunny day here down in Old Dumfries town in southwest Scotland. Sun shining. And here we are stuck inside the ice rink doing this. What we'll do for a free cup of coffee.
I was going to say, I'm not quite sure how to follow that, but that'll do it. Somebody promised us with tea later on as well, I believe.
Did they?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
So, depends what tea is.
Nice bottle of wine.
Liquid lunch, liquid tea.
Three-course meal.
So
Waiter service.
Waiter service. Yeah.
I'm sure if your wife and my wife are listening to this, they'll be turning and saying we've not had our invites to this soiree.
No, mine certainly hasn't. I'm sure it's a buffet. She's not a big fan of buffets, so
All right.
we're fine. I'm safe. So just about to remove the stone there. Wasn't the tidiest takeout in the world, but it's gone. It's not gone. It's hiding behind the graphics.
I take it Hungary's just looking for a draw here, are they?
I think so, yeah. They've got last stone. It's another team that don't use a brush in the house. Nothing to aim at. Nothing to miss.
I think it takes a lot of practice to do that, because I know even just playing the points when you're not got a point of aim, that you have to keep your. It takes a wee bit of concentration and thought as to where you're going to aim for. Well played, eh?
Really nice shot. Really nice shot. Two reds are level as well.
Hit and roll to the right now. It's the shot being delivered. It's got to be tight, is it not? Oh no, lovely shot. Lovely shot.
Yeah, really nice shot.
So 5-3 for Russia, with Russia having the hammer in this, the fifth end out of 8.
Quite a watchable first half of the game.
Yeah, it's been very good. It really has. They've been playing well. It's really good to get players of this quality here at Dumfries, and this weekend there's been quite a lot of good curling. We hear of quite a people talking about this shot or that shot or the other shot, and we don't always get to see them. Be nice if we had the time to sit down here and go through umpteen hours of footage and put them all together and have a montage of good shots. So
It was suggested at one point yesterday,
right.
without a tongue being in a cheek. It was.
So what are you going to do? Take the hard drive away of some 12 times 6, 72 hours of curling.
Well, to be fair, I mean, by the time I got home last night and sat down, had something to eat, I think I managed 5.5, 6 hours sleep last night before the kids were back up. So
that's farming for you.
There's at least 3 hours to spare time there, really.
And it's family life as well, you know, when you've got young family and that. I mean,
exactly. So quite frankly, I could do more.
Aye.
So no, it was talked about.
I take it you're a good lady. Couldn't have worked the equipment and that, and during the time that the kids are maybe quiet or something like that, she couldn't work away at it.
She could, yeah, and it would give us a 40-second break
right,
while that was happening. So that's one kid in each arm and a keyboard with a nose or something, that would work.
Aye.
To be fair, I think the equipment is simplified.
Is it?
Since we started, it's not as panicky as it used to be in terms of trying to get scores and everything else input. It's much more sit back and watch it.
Right.
I'm doing my roll down. It's very complicated. Nobody else could possibly.
But if anybody out there has got time in their hands and wants to come in and we'll show them how to work the equipment recorded, and if you want to put together some good shots in that, I'd be pleased to accommodate you.
Absolutely.
Could be a good project for a student.
Could be. Yes, it could be actually. Yeah, I've got the equipment here to make use of it. So it's we used to do a shot of the month competition in the dim and distant.
That's right. It's like everything, it takes time to do, and especially with coaching and that, it's such a packed schedule now, and to actually find, say, a couple of hours to go through footage and that is difficult to find at times.
Yeah, it takes a wee while.
So,
wasn't a great result there from a Hungarian point of view.
was that the intention?
No, I don't think so. I think they were going for the blue in the rings.
Uh-huh.
Missing on the right side again though. They've got last stone. They're sitting quite nicely in the 4 foot, so getting rid of the guard's not a disaster. But I'm guessing they were going for the blue. I might be being uncharitable there. But, just have a quick... Maybe been a bit unfair. They maybe were going for the guard, John. Difficult to tell.
There's certainly a lot of weight on it.
There was.
So maybe they were going for the double.
It was just
to
the only
remove
reason.
both guards and
The only reason I'm thinking they maybe were was there was no sweeping at all.
Aye, but maybe they were looking to go for both guards.
Yeah,
Maybe
possibly.
they just got too tight or something. I kind of have this impression that this is a kind of scruffy end, that neither team is really just...
I don't think there's been a shot 100% made yet, has there?
It's not as if you could say follow a kind of pattern with it.
The Russians in quite a nice position that they can... A two's fine. Two's fine.
And they've got last stone advantage here, and they're 5-3 up. So... three ends to go. We'll give you an update shortly on how the other games are going.
Makes the Hungarian decision quite easy. 5-3 up, I'd have been tempted just to keep the pressure on, take the blue out of play, lie 2 in the house. Got last stone, take your 2.
I'll be quite honest with you, I was trying to work out the reasoning behind what they were doing there.
Just too high risk for me to leave a double, and you're almost getting forced into the one, but these guys play a lot of mixed doubles, so they'll know.
That's
They'll
right,
know
aye.
They'll know what their end game is.
Aye.
But as an opposition, I wouldn't be too disappointed to have that set up playing against now. I'd have been much more worried if they had 2 red stones and they were split. I did very well to pick that clean off the top.
Not what they were looking for, though.
They're just going to play the same again, I think.
That's right.
At least there's consistency.
Aye, so they know what they're doing. I tried to coerce our young curler, Sophie Jackson, who plays mixed doubles and that, to come and give us some advice and help, but she said something about having to study.
Sounds like a bit of an excuse.
Yes, I think her body language kind of implied that as well.
It's the hidden things, isn't it?
It is that. However, I'm reassured by her parents that she will be here later on today. So, the day is still young. I did try to tell her that it would be good for her CV, but even that didn't go down.
Depends what you say.
Well,
You could come on and say something very controversial that may not be good for your CV.
no, it's not like that. No, she's very skillful when it comes to the curling. She's done really well this year. I think we're all very proud of it.
Russian thrown's just too deep.
Opportunity here. Well, they played the steam. So, I think they'll be disappointed in that.
Yeah, they're going to get. Russians should get their two anyway here, so it's panned out for them.
It has, aye. Have we got some other scores anywhere, David?
Yeah, I'll just put them up once we've seen this last stone down. Hopefully it's somewhere. Here it comes now. Oh, they've gone for the hit. There you go. Now they've made it.
Well done. Nicely done.
Just looking around just to make sure that wasn't for any more than a two, but I think it was just for a two. Other scores you asked, John. There you go.
Right, Aitken is one up in after four. These are all after four, so I don't know if they must have changed by now, because I know that we've changed. So after four, Aitken was one up, Norberg was one up, Turman is one up, Turtu is two up, and Hakova and Lille are Peels with 2 all. But as I say, we know for a fact that there's more ends being played, so once we get some updates we'll let you know.
You going to explain the power play this time, John?
They moved the shots to the right hand side of the game this time, hoping to gain the advantage.
They've missed the tick shot, so plan B is to move the blue back. It's just too heavy, so that's going back to where it started life. Dead easy to replace because it started in a fixed position.
So advantage there to Hungary.
If you're blue here, John, where'd you put the second one? So you've essentially got a free shot, you've got last stone, you're 4 down, you need to score probably a 3 with this power play as a minimum, and they can't hit with their next stone.
You could put one beside that one if you wanted. Or you could actually put one right away across on the far side at the 9 o'clock as we look at it. You could also put a guard up if you wanted, but you're better off putting a stone in and then try to put a guard in.
I like playing pretty much what they've done here, just kind of coming in. One thing I would say is you want to make sure your top 12, top 8, you don't really want to slide onto it. That's okay. The danger is they can now freeze onto that and takes 2 out of the equation. So actually, yeah, it's either that or you go with your 9 o'clock shout. Objective 1, I think, is get it on the paint.
Initially, your initial reaction is that I need to get some shots, so let's get another guard out in that, which would be the normal if you're playing your full 8 shots in that. So.
Yeah, I don't think guard's a bad shout either. Put another corner guard up, double corner it.
The only thing is that, as I said to you the other week there, when you analyse some of the current strategies, instead of putting, say, centre guards up, putting shots into the house and then following it with a guard and that. So
No, and your opposition's going to do the textbook, put a corner guard up with their first. And
that's right.
Yep. That's not a badly played shot at all. So they couldn't hit anything there, so what they've done is move their own guard into the house, rolled to the side with the shooter, so at least them 2 blues are exposed now. And what I would expect to see now is a fairly tidy end of curling. I think this end should tidy up quite nicely in a few stones' time.
I think you said that in the last game, and then, or words to that effect, and then they ended up in that big guddle, didn't they?
It's called a commentator's curse.
Right. They're not going to follow what you're saying.
I think we should have 2-way microphones downstairs, just us kind of shouting things randomly on a loudspeaker.
Well, we could put the mics back on. Oh. We could put the mics back on the players like we once had.
They're at my feet. They're still there.
Do you understand Russian and Hungarian and Czechoslovakian?
We're a little problem with that one, yep.
So we'll be looking for a clearance here. Well done. And he's stuck.
Good shot. Yeah, just doing a quick tot up there in terms of language barriers. I think we've only got 3 Scottish teams in the draw.
No, there'll be more than that. There'll be 4. We've got Henderson, Duff.
The Duffs, sorry, I was forgetting the Duffs.
Cleary and Mowat.
4. Yep, we've then also got the English and the Welsh and the Irish teams. 7 UK teams. It's a good international contingent.
We've been very fortunate for a few years here at Dumfries High School in that the English, Irish and the Welsh teams have kind of made it their home to play a lot of their competitions with, and so we see them quite often during the year. Very competitive and great sports, all of them.
That's quite a nice attempt at the freeze. I actually thought it was running a little bit heavy, but it didn't seem to get a particularly lively contact off the stones there.
There is a bit distance between the 2 stones there.
As I say, it just looked to be coming reasonably quick, and then
Slowed down.
Yeah. There was enough of a gap.
There was, just, aye.
It's going to be quite difficult to get 2 out of this end now.
Really, if Hungary actually doesn't get a 2 out of it, I wouldn't be surprised if they shook hands.
I think as long as they score, we'll see them carry on. I think it's if they lose a steal of any description.
Right, okay.
I think that's probably it. I think
Point taken.
if they get a 1, they're only 3 down.
Yes, it's just the way that both teams have been playing. They haven't really. It's not as if you could turn around and say there was really much chance for a 3 or a 4 or something like that, you know. So.
No, and I think if we're looking at a team that had been beat 3 times already, I think they probably would be shaking hands. Remember though, the Hungarians haven't been beat yet, and they've scored over 20 points in the 3 games, 24 points I think it was. It's 28 actually.
So they're not going to give up.
Although I believe 20. Racking my brains, I think 24 of them points were with the hammer. So
they're not going to give up. They're fighters.
I think if they lose a steal here, though, they might retire to the bar and think again. So the Russians' last shot of the end. Moskaleeva with the stone.
Hungary will be hoping for a jam here.
And they've not got it. I suppose technically they got it, but it wasn't a sticky.
So in some ways Russia's forcing Hungary to take a 1.
It's a perfect way to play a power play, isn't it? Split the house, force the 1. I hate to say it again, but it's just normal curling rules, isn't it? It's do the basics.
Quite a pressure shot for them, mind.
Yeah, it is. And I think this, well, they're both working it, John.
It's got the running on it, it looks
though.
okay.
Looks fine, absolutely fine. They say...
I think so.
1 blue, I think, very well. Swear. I tell you what, we were confident on that, but we're not.
We were that. Well, we've done that much work on the ice and getting it ready, and
just had that look about
that eye. So
I'd love to say it was good judgment on our part, but well, it was. Let's just call it. It's fine.
When you see the effort that some of these, when they're sweeping in that, you realise there must be a large amount of training has taken place to get to that level, you know. So
power play, Russian power play.
Right. So
Hungarians need to steal. Got to see a centre guard here, do we not? We've got to see a centre guard. Otherwise you're leaving the whole of the 8 foot for the Russians to work with if you go after the corner, so I expect to see a centre guard here.
And David is offering odds of 9-1 that the next played shot will be a centre guard.
I'll give you 5-1.
5-1.
I'm more confident now. I've seen what handle she's playing.
Right. So
I'm very confident now. Did you take that 5-1? Doesn't matter actually. I'll just keep the money at that.
Can I
don't
say to you, I try to avoid betting.
Sensible, very sensible. That's a guard, John, and it's vaguely down the centre.
I thought it would have been a wee bit deeper towards the house, though.
I think they would have liked it a wee bit deeper, but it was just starting to overswing, so not really much they could do with it. More important to be on the centre line, provide cover against the last stone. A long way to go though in this end.
Ice seems to be holding up well in all the games so far.
It does. I think it's been remarkably consistent.
Well, there was a lot of work done on it on Thursday. Paul Martin from Perth has been down helping us this weekend, and quite amazed by his knowledge and in all respects. I think it actually makes you realise just how little you know about the subject of making ice and that. So,
I see a slight mistake from the Russians. They probably want to keep this end relatively clean. I think I would have been tempted to split the house there, just to avoid a guddle behind, but they've covered that red stone. But there is a guard to use, so you would think at some point, and probably now, the Hungarians are going to come round that centre guard, so having a guard on the corner is probably not the worst thing, that they can start to hit and roll to the wing.
well, 7th end, the Russians, if they
They're
can
just
take a
looking
1,
to score here, aren't they?
if they can take a 1, 8-4 in the last.
Okay, so the Russians can start hitting.
I know that normally you wouldn't have looked at just take a 1 if you could, but I'm not so sure that they.
I'm not sure. We're given the scoreline. I think you probably would, John. I think that's. I think it's just the inability to guarantee a 1 in mixed doubles, or to have a 80%, 85% chance of being able to take it's the problem, and hence why I think the power play is left as a defensive.
Coming off.
Exactly.
I see that after 5 ends now that Aiken is 3 up. I'm just going to take a quick look out and see if we are playing any faster than the rest of the games.
Yeah, some ends just look a little bit behind, or some games rather. Not too bad. I think most games are in the 7th end, just 1 or 2 behind. Guard successfully dispatched. Guard replacement coming up. Come a little bit too deep, so it makes the double a possibility now, and you can play the double to go over the top of the blue, so that you guarantee that your shooter runs away and doesn't leave anything, doesn't jam the red. So it has the option of taking the 1 on the forefoot, but the problem with taking the 1 on the forefoot, I would say, is that the Hungarians can then put a better stone round the guard. So I think if you keep taking the guard at the moment off the other handle to what they're currently looking at, I think you have to come off the right. Yep, there we go. And you take the guard off now, you force the Hungarians to replace the guard rather than improving the shot in the forefoot.
This is the quickest game being played.
So we've made another excellent choice for webcasting.
Yes.
Good.
It's been a good game.
It's been an enjoyable game actually. Most games have. Well, I think we've only shown maybe one or two one-sided ones.
Even then, it's been the games have been, although they maybe went one-sided, it's still been good games to actually watch.
I have to admit, I think not so much the format of the game. I think the format's really good. I like mixed doubles. I think it's the way forward for the sport. But 1.5 hour sessions, 1 hour 45-minute sessions. You know, compare it to doing the web coverage of a 10-end game. It's hard work. It's hard work on volunteers, it's hard work on ice rinks, and it's hard work on the non-curling viewers as well, which vastly outnumber the curling viewers. So
I was in Inverness playing, and they were 6-end games because of just the way that the competition was. And we were playing one game, and for whatever reason, I think that 6 ends took about 2 hours. I wouldn't have liked to have played 10 ends. I wasn't skipping. I was just
going to ask whose fault it was.
I wasn't skipping.
There's got to be something the ice rinks look at. There's a lack of curlers, and I think it's more time pressure than anything else that causes it. So, well, my own personal view, but I would quite like 6-end or 1.5 hour sessions. Start at 5, finish at 6:30. Start at 7, finish at 8:30. Start at 9, finish at 10:30.
No, I can say to you, I mean, if you really just get yourself sorted out and you just get your stone and you're in the hack, ready to play, I mean, you can lose 30 or 40 seconds every stone if you're not ready to play, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that, John. I think it's just cut it. I think you would get more interest in club curling.
Well, perhaps you should maybe send a wee report to the RCCC and make that suggestion, and because they're all looking for new ideas. So
try it here first. It's a pretty good shot. If that blue is shot, which I don't think it is, unfortunately, for the Hungarians, but yeah, the centre's cleared out now. That's the big problem.
So I wonder where this leaves everybody if Russia wins then.
Should have anticipated this question, shouldn't I?
Well, you're the guru. You've got all this information to your fingertips. There's people out there now saying to themselves, what's the position?
What's the standings? We'll have a look at that at the end of the end, shall we? I think that's about all they could have done, really, isn't it? And this could be a hit for a 2 and possibly the game if that pans out. We'll just very quickly look at the. As you see, the Hungarians were top on 3 wins. I think this will put Russia in. I think it keeps their destiny in their own hands, is what I would say, John. They've got left to play.
Russia must have a game in hand.
No. I think you're looking at the wins column. So
sorry.
Everybody's played 3 games.
Sorry.
It's a good stone. The shooter is running away. So, are we saying 1 red?
I would say so.
I think we'll see the handshakes at that. Maybe not. Definitely not.
I wonder if we'll see a change of tactics from Hungary here. They've got last shot. I'm just wondering what their options are. They've used a power play, haven't they?
Yep. All power plays have gone.
So they could try and tick the guard.
Russia will try and tick the guard. Almost guarantee that. They'll try and tick something anyway. In all honesty, if I was the England 4-up, I'm going to play to tick the blue. I'm going to try and tick the blue into the back corner dead zone. And if I come tight, I'll tick the guard. And if I batter something out of play, then fine, it's a stone out the way. So I would be trying to tick the blue out of here with my first stone. You're 4-up. You only actually have to hit 2 stones with your 3 stones that you can hit with. So just make sure you're not short. And I would play this at back 12 just to catch a little piece of that blue, or even hack weight. They of course are just going to draw right down on top. I just think that makes it messy.
I can see you. Aye, I can see where you're coming from. I really do. Aye.
And if you're hungry now, you're going to freeze that red.
The Russian coach is just right there. You can never just ask him.
Let's put the microphone through, be fine.
Don't know if that's what they were looking for.
No, certainly wasn't. That's exactly why I wouldn't have put that one on the top of the 4-foot as well, because all of a sudden it's tricky again. So I haven't put it there. I think you need to make a play on it and tap it back.
Or you could just go and try and lie onto the blue at the back. Just ignore your own shot and go around the back of it.
I think you either want to move the blue or the red though, because you want the red to be shot after this stone. Because I would say at the minute the blue's the short stone, so it's
it is, aye.
So the red's only any use in there if the Hungarians have to move it.
Shots don't come into this, do they?
Yeah, see, I think that's a good way to play that. That's not a disaster. If that hangs about the back of the 8-foot, it's a catcher. So no shots don't come into it, or ends for that matter. So just purely the wins. The wins, the head-to-head, and then the draw shot challenge. It's a good attempt, but
Are we in our first shot yet?
yeah, we can hit now. We could have hit with the Hungarian stone, but obviously they're not going to want to do that. I think we'll see the Russians come through the gap, take both blows out, game over.
It's not the biggest of gaps that are coming through there, though.
No, it's not. It's not, but it's big enough, I would say. I've played the hits pretty well all game, so I don't expect to miss here. The only danger is they're too high and it ends up jamming something, but again, I don't see that being a problem. There we go, through it goes. 1, 2, bye-bye. Count the stones that are left. Realise you can only get a 3. And shake hands. Just like that.
Well read, David. Well read.
The Czech Republic and Estonia coming in behind them. So, do you know how they're getting on? They're playing each other now, I think, John.
No.
course, it's on the screen. It's the game on sheet E. So that will put the Czech team level with the Hungarians and the Russians at the top. Yeah, I think what we're going to say is have a look on the website. It could get quite messy, this section, I suspect, so it very much depends on the games that remain. We'll leave the teams to play their last draw shot challenge of this session. Thank you very much, John, for covering this game with me.
Okay, no problems.
And we are back at 2 o'clock.